get any play.
I did not see that. It didn't get any...
Try to see if McCloskey can't get that written something out of state.
All right, fine.
Columns and so forth tomorrow. Will you?
Yes, sir.
Get that to your okay. Henry Kissinger?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Mr. Kissinger, sir.
Well, you all ready for your trip?
I'm getting ready. I just got home. I left the office a little while ago. Getting things together.
Well,
I'll look in on you in the morning before I go away. I won't be back until 10. Well, I wouldn't be very conciliatory with Mansfield.
I'm not going to be a goddamn bit conciliatory. On this, I'm going to say, Mike, you should know that one line. Just hope this is not getting out of your impression.
I would say. Because what these people have done is unconscionable. One looked at the combination of flippers, the papers, and now this. It is unforgivable because everyone who wanted to make a record had a chance to do it on McGovern-Hatfield. So they had their chance at it. And if it had stopped at that point, we would have been in good shape.
Well, we played it the best way we could.
We had no choice. I mean,
It doesn't tie us. It is misinterpreted as negotiation.
That's right. But I'm beginning to wonder whether as a basic strategy, at least from the way the foreign policy side looks to me, we had them on their knees last October. And whatever it was that didn't get us all the votes was, I think it had more to do with the economy.
Oh, it did.
Than with anything else. And then we let them off the hook.
Yep. Well, we'll have
But
more.
we still have the big hole card.
We'll have them on the knees again.
Not yet.
Now on. So, tell them the damn thing. Do it. That's it.
But we have to start hollering treats a little bit.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, I think so. When I think say we, I really can't do it.
No, but Agnew could do it.
Mm-hmm.
And some of our people could do it, and then they'd have to defend themselves.
I wonder if Agnew shouldn't say something about that. Right.
I think it'd be a good occasion. I think he should give a rip snorter of a speech, pointing out what happened this month. Buchanan could probably do
In the morning, why don't you tell Buchanan what you think he ought to include in that respect? He's making a speech on Vietnam to the young Republicans. Just as good a place as any.
I think
it doesn't
so.
make any difference with foreigners.
I think
just lays it out there.
I think so. Because they have a desire to lose. They couldn't bear the thought that we bring this. They're not so worried about our getting out. They're worried about our getting out without Saigon going communist.
Yeah. They're afraid they want us to get out and have it go communist.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Mainly because they want us to go.
Because that means you had failed. And they can say they would have done it faster.
Doing their best.
Well, except these papers are not helping the best.
I don't think they are either.
I don't know. And in fact, our making such a tough fight helps us.
But
our public relations people don't like the fight we are making, but our making it makes it clear that we are not behind these revelations. I mean, even Kennedy is getting tired now. I mean, these were the great Kennedy people who did all of this. He even in the Johnson administration, those were all Kennedy appointees.
Sure. Yeah, as it goes along, they're going to get it pretty well not smeared up with this one.
Well, it's coming out anyway, bit by bit over our opposition. The Globe papers, the Boston Globe papers now have the first direct slap at Kennedy. McCloskey is now saying that Lodge contributed to the assassination of Pierre on Kennedy's orders.
McCloskey is?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's nice.
So McCloskey is screaming that on the one hand the Americans pretended to be his friend, on the other they were killing him, which happens to be true.
Yeah. Let him say it. That's a good one to say.
And it's now coming out from the sort of, if we said it, they'd accuse us of smear. But it's now coming out from the right people.
These
things are coming out over our violent opposition.
turn that. I agree. I'm trying to think we're pretty loose for a while. And any event, this is one of those things we have just a totally irresponsible. Let me say, make your play. It may still work. Play it hard.
The President, I'm absolutely cold about this. We'll play it hard. You suffered this thing to this point, and we're going to... and then we've got the other one, which is only 2 weeks away. And then when I come out, it's after Manfield as well, so we know where it's at.
Yes, sir.
And that's after Manfield from our other pals. Right. And then we've got our cards.
You know which we have and which we have?
We know which we have, what we can say, what we can't say. And then we've got another 2 months to play the truth.
Okay, Henry. Bye.
You get me Senator Mansfield's secretary, please.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Mrs. Delbalzo, his secretary.
Hello.
All right.
Hello.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Hi. When I talked to the senator this morning, I forgot to mention one thing that he and I had chatted about before that I'd like you to mention to him.
All right.
He's been talking to me about making a stop in Montana, this summer, and I'm just sitting here talking to Mr. Haldeman about my August schedule, in which I will be in the West on occasion. And if you just mention to the senator, and I know you'll probably do it with one of you or one of the staff people, if they could let one of our people talk to Mr. Haldeman about when would be a good time, the place, and so forth. I think he had a choice as to where he wanted me to come. I think it's one of the some sort of a dedication or something, but he'll know what it's about because we've talked about it before, and then it just slipped my mind. And
Mr. Haldeman.
Yeah, Mr. Haldeman will be. I'll have him give your office a call, and he can chat with you, and then you can assign him to whoever that the senator will handle the arrangements on this, and then so that we can get 3 or 4 dates. Because you see, I've got to go out. I'm going west. I'm going to be in I've got 1 week set aside where I'm going to do. I have to go to Wyoming and a few other states to do some dedications, dams, and so forth. And I'd like to go to Montana on that occasion. And so if we could get a few optional dates, then we'll go out. But I want to be there when the senators can be there. Okay?
I see. Fine.
All right.
Very much.
Thank you.
Pleasure to talk to you.
Hello.
Oh, Mr. Ehrlichman.
Yes.
The speaker.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, John Ehrlichman. The President asked me to call you to give you a fill-in on his breakfast with Senator Mansfield this morning.
Yes, sir.
The President offered to make available to the Senate and the House the 47 volumes of the report on Vietnam and the 1965 study of the Tonkin Gulf incident. These documents are, as you know, still classified, and they would come to the bodies under those classifications. At the same time, there is a declassification review underway, which Secretary Laird mentioned yesterday. So Senator Mansfield will be calling you.
I had a call from Macgregor saying that they were sending him up here. be on the alert.
Right, well,
Over to the military committee.
Senator Mansfield, I think, wants to talk with you about the disposition of the documents. He has in mind that the joint leadership of both bodies should get together and discuss how they will be distributed. And he, I think, has in mind some sort of a joint committee. But the president said that this was entirely up to the leadership of the bodies. So Senator Mansfield indicated to the president this morning that he would be calling a meeting of you and Senator Scott and Jerry Ford and anyone else that you felt would be appropriate to discuss how to go from here.
I see. Well, that Macgregor's call came to one of my secretaries earlier.
Today?
Yeah, later today.
I see.
9:25.
Mm-hmm.
It was dated here at 9:20, and I just pictured it first.
Right.
So this amounts to a bail book. They have it by immediately referring them through the parliamentarian or security storage by the Armed Services Committee.
Oh, well, that's a logistics. I think that was because Secretary Laird was concerned about how they would be stored.
Oh, I see.
But that's really a logistical problem that we can work out.
Oh, I see. All right. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. That was John Ehrlichman. Would you give me Clark McGregor, please?
Yes, sir. Clark McGregor's not it?
John Ehrlichman, is he there?
Yes, just a moment, sir.
Hello? Oh, I just talked with the speaker.
Yeah.
He's a little confused by some telephone message from your office about parliamentarians and storage of documents and so forth.
It isn't clear to me, John, whether we're transmitting two sets of documents or one set.
One.
And how is it to be handled?
Well, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'll fill you in when I get through here. But the point is that he had some message from your office that had him badly hung up, and I told him just to disregard it.
I don't know how any message from this office could have had him badly hung up. I haven't talked to him at all.
Well, no, somebody talked to a secretary in his office about documents being transmitted to a parliamentarian. And
I didn't talk to him. I talked to the vice president this morning because he's the presiding officer of the United States Senate. And
what'd you tell him?
I told him that the president was considering, I was having breakfast with Mike Mansfield this morning, and was considering an action with respect to the documents involving the Congress. And it might well involve the presiding officers of the House and the Senate. And as the presiding officer of the Senate, I wanted to make sure that he was not embarrassed by being out of town. He said, "Oh, I'll be here, Clark." And he said, "But if you've got any questions about the handling of documents, we got a regular procedure for that, and I'll have Walter Mote call you." And Vice President then called Walter Mote, who called me. Now, Mote may have also called somebody in the Speaker's office. Did not come from our office. I have not talked to the Speaker or anybody in the Speaker's office about the President's announcement.
Oh, he used your name. In any event, Jerry Ford's not available, and so I've got to call in for him, and I'll talk with him just as soon as he's available. But Mansfield is going to contact these people and have a meeting. He's not going to contact the Vice President. He's just not on the list.
Mm-hmm. Vice President, of course, is the presiding officer of the United States Senate.
Well, that's what the Constitution says.
And the transmittal of documents does go to the Vice President's office.
Well, except in this case, the President told Mansfield that the transmission would go to Mansfield and the joint leadership of the two houses. Because it is not like a congressional message.
I appreciate it. It's
an extraordinary
extraordinary situation.
Right.
And
so you better untrack the Vice President.
I'll call him right away. But they asked me questions about whether there's one set of documents, two set of documents, and so forth. And I said, I don't know about well, I haven't any information about that, John.
I think you better get unplugged from him because he's not in the chain here.
Well, all right, I know of no procedure for the President to transmit documents to the United States Senate and bypass the presiding officer.
We're about to make one.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, please.
Congressman Hébert, please.
Thank you.
Hello?
Sir, the office is locating Congressman Hébert, and they're going to call as soon as they can locate him.
Fine.
Thank you.
Would you get Congressman Pierre DuPont
Okay.
of Delaware, and also I want to talk to Congressman Gubser, Charles Gubser of California.
All right.
Gubser. And Congressman Garry Brown, Garry Brown of Michigan.
All right, sir.
Okay.
Sure.
Hello.
I have Congressman Hébert. Line, sir.
Hello. Mr. President? Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to tell you that I was very grateful in reading the news reports last night and this morning for your statement on that House Senate conference. I tell you, boy, without stand-up guys like you, we might as well call Mr. Bruce home. That's true.
You did good.
That's right.
A good citizen just walked in here now.
Is that right?
The one Melvin R. lad.
Oh, yeah.
Can you vouch for him?
Now, listen, don't leave any secret papers around while he's there.
I won't leave any secret papers
He's afraid he's going to haul it out. Incidentally, though on that, I do want you to know that I'm most grateful, and actually, Ed, I hope that you can. In the conference, all you need is, frankly, just to take out some of that language. You know what I mean? For all the House has voted one way, the Senate is in the rest, and as I told Ziegler to point out, the Senate's only one half the Congress.
Only one half the Congress, and I'm going to have a very short conference. I'm only going to put about 5 men on the conference.
Is that right?
Yeah, from our side.
Right.
Only the guys with powder dry will we hold.
Well, can you have good strong men?
Oh, I'm going to have strong men.
Right. Who will be on the other side?
It'll be Les and Okonski. Les, of course.
And
but Les will be one.
Who will be on the Senate?
On our side, it'll be Hébert, Fisher, and what the hell, and Mel Price.
Well, that's a good bunch.
No, we solid.
Now, what about the Senate side? Who will they have?
I haven't any slightest idea.
Well, in any event,
well, you can't.
I'll tell you why this language is so important. We just need, as I've said several times, that we can't hope, and we are in the process now, I can tell you, of trying to conduct some negotiation. The time will come when we can't do anything, and we'll know it. But we really need to get any kind of directive out, because put yourself in the position of the enemy. If the enemy says they're going to get out any day, hell, they ain't going to negotiate.
Well, hell, all they've done, Mr. President, on this thing is just 9 months. Is the same as that amendment was offered before.
Sure.
It doesn't mean anything else.
That's right.
No, don't worry. I'm going to stand pat. They won't have a bill.
Right. Good. Incidentally, on this paper thing, Mel will fill you in. Can I get him on the phone? I want to tell him what to say.
I think we can work this thing out. If my suggestion is, if I get a hold of those papers, I'll handle them that nobody's going to get out of them.
Right. Well, the main thing is we'll, as you know, it's no skin off our back, but we've got to protect the security of our sources.
I'll explain. Mel just got here. I had time to explain what I have in mind. If I get a hold of them and they send it in regular order,
right?
I'll make such conditions and rules that we won't have many visitors.
Right.
And we'll know exactly what they are, and I'm going to have printed in big letters the criminal implication.
The other thing is, of course, that on the Senate side is that
that's their problem.
We don't know. Okay.
That's the problem.
Fine. You tell Laird if anything gets out, I'm going to blame it on him and not you.
On him. Wait a minute. Here he is.
Him and not you.
Okay. Yes, Mr. President.
I just told the chairman, as I said, if any papers leaked while you were up there, I was going to blame it on you and not him.
I know that probably.
Well, he's sure a stand-up guy. Yeah. It's great. I hope that if they don't know what they're going to do, a joint committee or a House and Senate or what, but what do you think they'll finally come up? They do.
They won't go joint.
They won't. All right, fine. Well, let's tell the House to get out front and have its hearings first.
And they just won't.
I understand.
Go that way.
Well, that's all right. Each will do its own way.
And I think we can't really.
No, we can't say.
Can't say that.
It's up to them. Up to them. Right.
Carl feels rather strongly about it, and so does Eddie and Jerry. So
well, look, whatever the House wants, I'm for. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Bye. Yeah.
I have Congressman DuPont.
Yeah.
On the line, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to tell you that in talking with some of our people in the leadership up there who attended the caucus a few days ago, that they spoke of how very effectively you spoke on that resolution that came up, and I just wanted to express my appreciation.
Well, Mr. President, I appreciate it.
It's hard to step up to these tough ones like that, and I appreciate it, and I think in the end you're going to look pretty good, because we're doing some things that people don't know about that will I think be very effective in this field.
Well, I certainly appreciate it. It is hard to step up sometimes.
Sure.
Now in the middle of the Vietnam hearings, hearing testimony on all these resolutions, so we've got plenty of work cut.
You're having a lot of fun, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't turn out to be dull. You got a good committee.
No, it turned out very nicely.
Right. Well, anyway, I appreciate it very much, Pete.
Oh, Mr. President, I appreciate the call.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hello?
I have Congressman Gubser.
Okay.
On the line, sir.
Hello?
Hello?
Charlie, I just called to tell you that I was talking to Jerry a couple days ago, and he was telling me how really effective you were in the caucus on that resolution. And also, I've been thinking I'd see you sometime to tell you that I realize your neighbor over there causing a little trouble, and I don't want you to get embarrassed by having to take him on. But
Mr. President, that's what I'm going to do on Saturday.
Where are you going to be? Out in California?
In his district. And I tell you, I have asked Shumway of Mr. Klein's staff to help me on the speech, and I've got him dead to rights. I just,
what kind of issue do you want to hit?
Well, I want to prove that he is totally misrepresenting the facts when he says that we're engaged in an indiscriminate policy of bombing Laos.
Well, he is.
That's all I'm going to talk about.
All right.
And I've proved my case. In fact, Shumway had a copy of it.
All right.
I'm going to take him on. I'm sick and tired of a man downgrading his country just for his own political advantage.
That's what he's doing, too.
So,
and he knows better.
I would like sometime to get a copy of that speech in your hands. I don't know.
Right.
I think I'll send it down to Mr. Shumway, and it'll probably get it.
Yeah, it will. Send it to Shumway. But are you satisfied with it? You want any more dope? I don't know.
I've worked for 2 weeks on it.
No. Whether you got enough. When you got
Sullivan has helped me, and everyone has helped.
Well, and you got a speech that Sullivan knows it is better than anybody I know.
I've got an airtight case too.
All right. Well, play it to him and send me a copy, will you?
I certainly will.
And I'll get a copy of it. I want to know. But in the meantime, that's good country up there. One day I'll come in and
good.
And Pete, I don't know. He's emotional and everything, but the guy knows better. You know, he's too smart.
Man has flipped his lid.
He's like this. Who's that fellow from Michigan, Regal? They're sort of two of a kind, aren't they?
I know it. They just get carried away with press exposure and don't know how to handle it.
They love that TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
I appreciate your calling.
Well, anyway, I appreciate it. I just want you to know we don't overlook those things.
Well, I appreciate that very much.
Bye.
I'll keep fighting.
Hey, you bet you will. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hello.
I have Congressman Garry Brown.
Yeah.
Line, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Gary, I just wanted to call to tell you that I heard several reports from the caucus the other day that one of the most effective talks in the whole deal was made by you on that Nedzi-Whalen thing. And coming as you do with your interesting neighbor up there, I thought that took a lot of guts, and I just want to tell you how much I appreciated it.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. I was happy to do it.
I hope you don't get too much flack. Of course, as I've often say, my friend, you're an intellectual. They'll believe you.
Well, I trust that you're right.
Right.
The district is very transitional in this area, and of course that was the whole issue of my campaign last time. But I think you're right. And
well, the main thing, let me tell you this: just remember that I said on June the 23rd, you're going to look awful good next year about this issue. That's my job, and we're going to do it.
Well, I have confidence in you too.
Right. And we're moving along. Okay.
Well, thanks very much for calling.
Fine, Gary.
Very nice of you.
Yes, please.
Senator Stennis, please.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. I'm holding on the floor for Senator Stennis.
Oh, he's on the floor. I see. Well, But you can get him all right. If you can't, I can talk to his secretary if that will not. If that's
All right, sir.
fine. Either one.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I have Senator Stennis.
Hello?
Stennis.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. President.
John, I didn't want to bother you, but I don't want this day to go by without telling you I am really proud of the fight you've been putting up down there. And by golly, in the end, it's going to come out all right. Well, it's. I'm afraid. The only thing I'm afraid is that the vote might be interpreted by. Let me say, there's some very sensitive talks going on now.
Yes.
Very sensitive. I can assure you.
Yes.
Now, if they break down, it'll be because of the vote, and we're going to have to put the blame there. But I don't want to do that. But if it does, we're going to have to do it.
Yeah.
But boy, you and your people have done a marvelous job, and I just appreciate it.
I wouldn't blame you for putting the blame where it belonged. I'm mighty sorry about that thing yesterday.
Oh, well.
The thing had built up. I think this Pentagon Papers stuff, it gradually undermined us a little.
Sure. And, well, that's too...
You did a marvelous job all these weeks there because you did hold the dikes until yesterday. And that was the mildest thing they had in sight. And
sure, it was pretty mild. That's right.
Yeah.
And we'll just go ahead and we'll do what's right, and then in the end we'll be judged how it's coming out, and it's going to come out all right.
I'm doing what I do because I think you were trying hard and battle for us, and we'll always be free to talk to each other.
You bet your life. Now, on these papers, you know, I've agreed with the leadership, and I told, for your information, probably you've already heard, I told Mike that I thought that the chairman of the committee should be you. Because I think, frankly, you can preside over the thing if they have a select committee. Yeah. You know, it's like Russell did the other one. You need a guy who's a judge and not some damn advocate like Fulbright.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, I hope that works out, and I just don't know what will be done.
Yeah, well.
I just don't know.
Just pick a good man if you don't do it, okay?
Well, thank you.
All right.
You're mighty nice, and I appreciate your call, too.
Yes, please.
Mr. Duke Ellington, please.
Yes, sir.
Undersecretary Philip Campbell in the Department of Agriculture.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Mr. President, Undersecretary Philip Campbell is in Wisconsin today. He's expected back in the office on Monday. Should I try to reach him?
Well, if he's, if it's convenient, you
Fine,
can reach him, and if not, I'll talk to him Monday.
Fine, sir. I'll try to reach him.
Operator?
Yes, sir.
Could you get, had a call for a Mr. McGreevy in California. Could you get him, please?
Do you have the call, please, Mr. President?
Michael McGreevy. We tried him a few days ago, and now I understand, have found his number.
Fine, sir. I think we have it on file.
McGreevy, yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, please.
Operator, would you get Mr. William Rinaldi, R-I-N-A-L-D-I, that's in Dunmore, Pennsylvania. I think you have it on your list. It's D-U-N-M-O-R-E, Pennsylvania.
All right, and Duke Ellington is playing somewhere in the Philadelphia area. Do you want to try to reach him there?
Well, if it's convenient, yes.
Okay, sir.
I mean, no hurry. I'll be here for another hour.
All right, sir.
Fine.
Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yeah.
You called Michael McGreevy. The number doesn't answer. I'll keep trying. I do have Undersecretary Philip Campbell for you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
Hello?
Mr. President?
You're out in Wisconsin, I understand.
I'm at the Forestry Research Laboratory right now looking at all of the wonderful things they're doing.
Well, that's great. I just called to tell you that I'm sitting here doing some of my general reading, and I came across the appearance you made at the meeting of agricultural secretaries in the South, and the very effective way you spoke up for Chief Wilson, and I just want to thank you for it and tell you that we're glad to have such a hard-hitting guy on our team.
Well, you're mighty kind, Mr. President. I was afraid I'd embarrassed you instead, and I
not at all
do that.
No, sir. You gotta really step up, and as you noticed, I've taken exactly the same line myself.
Well, I knew that the Attorney General had, and you had, and this group down there appreciates this very much. And the president of this group, Mr. President, Doyle Connor, is a Democrat from Georgia, elected, and he spent 5 minutes bragging on you.
Well,
I've turned this over to John Whitaker,
Good.
So that you would know about it.
Great. Well, we'll try to get him into something one of these days. You might tell John when you get back to include him in some White House function sometime.
Yeah, well, he was here on the May Day affair.
Oh, we saw him then. Good.
He bragged on this for 5 minutes.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate your hard work out there. And give those people out there my best, will you?
Sure will.
Bye.
Thank you, Mr.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
Ziegler, please.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Ziegler.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes,
How'd
sir.
you get along? Get out that story all right?
Yes, sir. It seems to be moving well.
Fine.
And Defense has issued a statement this afternoon, too, indicating the fact that Laird is working it out with congressional leaders and in a way that will maintain full security of the document so it doesn't compromise any of the court proceedings.
Good.
But
Good. Well,
I think it moved as we had discussed.
And the main thing is to just keep our sure it doesn't appear to be a defensive action on our part. We've just
right. I made it clear. I was asked a question. Well, it appears that the president made this decision after the vote last night. I said I came back very quickly. I said, no, as a matter of fact, the president made this decision to keep Biscayne over the weekend. Period.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't seem that we're reacting to any one event or anything particularly. You made it over the weekend in Key Biscayne because you didn't want confusion to exist in the minds of the Congress.
Well, we couldn't have set up a breakfast that soon anyway.
That's right. And you full assessment. I think, Mr. President, what the gentleman last night at the dinner was referring to, in terms of the he indicated a negative report. The news stories were very positive.
Yeah.
I think on the AMA, I think what he's referring to, NBC did a piece about the AMA attitudes toward
reform,
health reform, and so forth. But it did not relate to your visit at all. I think.
Well, I probably would expect that.
Referred to.
Yeah, that's all right. Fine.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
We have William Rinaldi.
Yes.
All right. All right.
Hello?
Yes.
Mr. Rinaldi?
Yes.
I'm just calling to tell you that I have followed with great interest your letter with regard to your work that you are doing with the underprivileged children, and I just think that kind of action that where you're working now, actually, particularly with our high school children and others, is really a very outstanding thing, and to do it knowing too that you do it under greater difficulties than some people have, that's very encouraging to us in terms of the future of the country.
Well, thank you very much.
All right. And do you find, I notice that you're teaching U.S. history and other courses of that sort, is that correct?
That's right.
Right. I was a history major years ago, so it's the best subject of all.
I think so. And my perspective.
Your perspective, and also I think it's particularly important if they read it, people read it, and particularly in those formative years in high school, if they can get the sense that you have in your letter of a sense of destiny about the country and pride in the country. That tends to mitigate to a certain extent the instant news that you see night after night on television and the rest. And
we're dealing with them at such a moldable age.
Exactly.
It conveys a tremendous responsibility.
Right. Well, I just want you to know that I think it's a fine work that you're doing, and the country's grateful to men like yourselves. We're grateful to all good teachers, but to a teacher who's has, despite a handicap, has gone right in there and done this kind of a job is really very outstanding.
Thank you very much.
And we wish you best, and give my best to your students, will you?
I will, certainly.
Tell them to study that history hard. It's the best training for anything.
Such a pleasure talking to
you. Hello.
Mr. President?
This is Haldeman.
Mr. Haldeman, I have Mr. Duke Ellington on the line.
Oh, just a second.
All right. Now I'm just telling Mr. Haldeman about it. Just a second. I'm just announcing you, Beverly. I'm just announcing. Yeah, I got Ellington.
Just, operator?
Yes, Mr.
Just a minute.
All right, Mr. Haldeman. He's answering you.
Okay, he'll take the call.
He'll take it. Thank you very much.
Hello?
I have plans.
Yeah. Hello? I just wanted to wish you well on your trip to Russia.
Oh, thank you very much.
And also to tell you that I've had Len Garment working on that youth symphony, the suggestion you had about their trip, and our problem there is that is getting they're going to take a trip. The question is getting the places that they want to go. But he's giving top priority to it. But I want you to know that I don't think of anybody that will do a better job for this country and the Soviet Union than you will. And I'm just delighted that you can take the trip and give them that old style back there.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. President. I wanted to wish you a joyous post-anniversary.
Thank you very much. Well, it was quite an affair, and we all enjoyed it, and a lot of people. We never have an affair that people don't remember those days, and the days you were there. That Ellington night will never be topped.
It was beautiful.
That's right. Well, we wish you the best. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Congressman Wilbur Mills, and Congressman John Burns.
Yes, Mr. President.
Of course, each separately.
Fine.
And also Mr. Kenneth Cole, who was in the hospital from the White House.
Are you saying Kenneth Cole, Mr. President?
Yes, he's in the hospital from the White House staff. Fine.
Fine, sir.
Hello?
Congressman Wilbur Mills.
Hello?
Good morning, Mr. President.
Well, I didn't want to miss the opportunity to tell you that that was really a wonderful job on that HR-1. And I was just delighted you came through. I know the final vote, of course, was so big. I looked at the paper, and then I saw the other vote. But you really, well, it was really 47 on the critical one, was it?
Yes, it was.
Well, that was a little more than I thought you'd get. I was some of our boys thought you were down to 20.
Well, Jerry Ford thought that too. I told Jerry all the time I thought we'd get between 35 and 50, depending on how many of our folks were there.
It was a great job. Now let me ask you this: anything, and I would like to know that anything you feel that I can do on the Senate side, whereas you know we have our pitfalls, I will be glad to work. Now, naturally, I'll be in touch with Russell and Bennett and so forth as the thing develops. But you know the moves there better than anybody else. And if you just let me know,
I'll sure do it.
What is your anticipation? When do they think they'll bring it up?
They begin the hearings right after we get back in July, so Russell says.
Well, at least they have a pretty good chance, Wilbur, it seems to me, to get through before the end of the year.
Oh, certainly they do.
Do you?
They do.
It isn't like last year when it came so late, huh?
If they'll just keep moving, if they'll just not lay it aside.
Yeah.
I read in the paper where he said he thought he'd have it on the floor of the Senate in November. Well, now that's beyond the time that Mike and Carl have in mind for the Congress to stay in session even.
Okay.
So I think it might be well to get him and Bennett down and just talk to him.
All right. I'll do that.
Didn't he tell you, as he told me, that we separated this 10%? Early. Yeah. That he'd see to it that the Senate had a chance to vote on this proposition.
He did, yes.
I'd remind him of that. I'm going to remind him of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's what you've done. Mm-hmm.
He made a speech in Louisiana just prior to the time I was down speaking to the joint session. Maybe the night before, in which he blasted the devil out of it as being nothing but a guaranteed annual wage.
Yeah, I know. He's on that kick, and of course he'll want to put in a stronger work requirement. That doesn't bother me.
No, that doesn't bother me. I mean, why don't you face him with this proposition? Call it whatever you want to. Yeah. But say it's a guaranteed annual wage. It's different from what we've got. We've got a guaranteed annual wage now for people to remain in idleness, but this is a guaranteed annual wage to work.
Very good point. That's a very good point.
That
really is the difference, isn't it? One is you guarantee it for them to remain in idleness, and the other is it's a guaranteed wage if they work.
That's right.
But only if they work.
Let me ask you this, Carl.
Right.
No matter.
Sure.
This involves a friend of yours and mine. Mm-hmm. But Governor Reagan has been so far away from you and me on this deal.
Yeah, I know.
Do you think it would be helpful if I'm not going out for politics, but if I went, I've had an invitation from the legislature of California to speak to a joint session on welfare.
Good.
Explain to us what it means to California.
Good.
But do you think that would be helpful to our program?
Sure. I think it would. I think that of course this will bring a sort of a direct deal right with him, but that's perfectly all right.
I don't need to mention his name.
Yeah, no, you can go out and say you really respect his views. You're glad to see that he has taken such strong leadership, to get this welfare, rolls down out there, that it's a major problem. You hope to work with California and so forth. Heck, I think it never hurts a bit, and particularly if you can do it and then have a good talk with him. That's the main thing. He's showing, because he's got chapter and verse, on stuff that he doesn't like, and he's a very decent fellow, and he's a real gentleman, and I think it'd be worthwhile.
You better be watching him.
Huh?
I say you better be watching him between us.
Okay.
Don't go overboard now.
Okay. All right.
And while I've got you,
yeah, sure.
Don't pay any attention to what you read in the papers. I wouldn't have that job of yours. Just give it to me.
Yeah. Well, look,
I know too much about it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I appreciate that, and I was telling somebody the other day, just for your information, and don't let it go here. They asked me about. Of course, I never say anything politically, but I was saying, I said, that there are really only two fellows, and of course, I won't get into the domestic issues with anybody, but there are only two fellows that the people that have been mentioned on the other side that could handle the foreign policy, and one is you and the other is Jackson. You know what I mean? It seems to me, Wilbur, clearly this whole business, we know, I'm not asking you to get into it, but this whole business of the way they're handling these secret papers and so on, and the way too that Johnson's people are ratting on him, and it's just unconscionable. I had my differences basically with Johnson on a political basis, but damn it, he's a former president of the United States. This son of a bitch, Ellsberg, he's a left-winger who apparently carried all these papers out. He's much further left than McNamara was on the thing, and then what the papers are printing are his views about Johnson. Now that's they talked about McCarthy. This is worse than McCarthy.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't you think so? And,
absolutely.
And a lot of course, we're getting heat. People say we're trying to cover up. Hell, we're not trying to cover up. We got nothing to cover up. This doesn't involve us. It involves Johnson and Kennedy.
Well, of course it does.
But we got to do it. I think, as you realize, we've got to protect this. We got to protect the security system. I said to a fellow this morning, and you might, if you get a chance, use this. I said, look, first, let's understand this involves actions of the previous administrations, not ours. Second, as far as the papers are concerned, they were classified by the previous administration, top secret. Third, as far as those papers are concerned, we have an obligation to protect that system, because otherwise we could imperil the ability to govern and security of the country. Then I pointed this out, and people said, well, a lot of the papers shouldn't have been classified. But then I make this point. Do you realize there were 5,200 original documents in this? Do you realize that a man trying to get intelligence information, if he gets the right paper, one paper is enough to break a code?
Absolutely.
One paper is enough. See, I found all this out in the Hiss case many years ago. That's what it's all about. That's why you have a classification system. So I've taken a strong hand on this thing, and we're going to continue to. We've turned the papers over, as we should, to Mike and to the Speaker, and then they've got to pick up a good committee. It'll be good on your side with Hébert, and on the other side.
If they come out tomorrow, I'm going to speak to a Greater New Haven Chamber of Commerce meeting at Bob Jarmo, Congressman Jarmo's request tomorrow in New Haven.
Yeah.
And there'll be a press question and answer.
Right.
They may bring this thing up. I may throw it out there.
I think you could say this. You could say that the whole thing really gets down to this, sure, nobody's trying to cover up past history, but we are trying to protect the security of Americans at the present, and also the ability of any administration to conduct foreign policy.
Right.
And there must be some classification. There is probably over-classification. There's the other thing. You understand, it's a law of Congress, Wilbur, that sets up classification. We didn't set this damn thing up. Now, the second point is, no one, no matter how we dislike the law, no matter how much they're against this war, and a lot of people don't like the war and a lot don't like the law, but no one should put himself above the law, not a newspaper editor or not a worker in the government. If you allow a worker in the government because he doesn't like a war or doesn't like a law, if you say that he has the right to go out and put himself above the law, then you destroy orderly government. Now that's what you have here, you see. But anyway, apart from that, I do want you to know we've appreciated your help on this, and I'll get a hold of Russell, and I've told incidentally Schultz and the rest we'll continue to try to work out something on that revenue sharing. I know that's a tough one, and I've been working. But your proposal is one that I'm going to Chicago tomorrow, tonight, and so I'll see Daly out there. But it may be that we can work out some modus vivendi there. I mean, there's a...
Well, Mr. President, I haven't said anything other than that I could understand that some of our cities have some very acute problems. I have had some difficulty in understanding that the problems in the states are as acute as the cities. And from that, they jump to a conclusion that I want to help the cities and not anybody else.
Yeah,
but that isn't it. If we can figure something out.
Well, look, I told, as a matter of fact, I was meeting last night with Schultz and Connolly on this thing, and I said, look, on this thing, sit down at the proper time and work with you and whoever you do to work out, of course, with Johnny, and let's work out something where, if we can, that is. That accommodates some of these things. We don't. We aren't, pushing for every jot and tittle. We understand how the thing has to work.
Well, I know you've never been cemented in on it.
Well, we'll. Anyway, I'll proceed to get out to the hinterlands. I'm going to Indiana and to Illinois and then back. I'll tell you haven't you found as you go around the country, you get out of Washington, it's a hell of a lot different country.
Oh, my goodness.
Doesn't it make you feel good, though?
It really does.
Wonderful people. I was out, for example, to Oklahoma just a couple weeks ago. Then I was up to Atlantic City. Gee, you see the kids on the street and the folks, and most of the people, Wilbur, they aren't down on this country. They aren't ready to throw in the sponge. Don't you agree?
It's a few people that are talking, and they're talking so loud the others are not being heard.
That's right. Most of them want to be proud of the country.
Absolutely. Most of them are very patriotic, as much so as they've ever been.
Well, good to talk to you. And as I say now, one thing I know you never post, but whenever you think there's something I can do on this, you pick up the phone and call me. You understand?
I'll do it.
Because I use the phone a lot, and whenever your call comes in, I'll take it. But in the meantime, I understand the present thing is on HR1, I'll work directly with the two top senators. With regard to the other thing, I'm leaving it in the hands of Schultz and to a certain extent Connolly, and let them talk to you about it. And if something can work out, I'd appreciate it.
All right, sir.
All right, have a good trip.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Hello?
Congressman John Burns, Mr. President. Ready?
Hello?
Yes, sir, Mr. President.
All right, Johnny. Good. I'm going to be seeing you Monday, I guess, or Tuesday.
Yeah,
but,
Monday night, I guess.
Yeah, but but wanted you to know that I'm most grateful for the way that you and your sidekick Mills came through on that bill. That was really something.
Well, it really
getting
real good.
Getting 43 votes, that really surprised me. I didn't think on the key vote.
Everything, they got polarized. I was sorry that we didn't have a little better Republican vote than we had.
Forget it. What the heck? Nobody's going to remember who voted for what.
Oh, that's right. But it would have been nice to more of our boys. But.
Yeah, the only thing, of course, that disturbs me, Johnny, is that I hear so many of our friends say this is a giveaway and that sort of thing, and when they say that about you and me, good God, it really burns me.
Well, it burns me.
We're trying our best.
Yeah.
Mills said an interesting thing to me. He said, when you talk about this guaranteed annual wages thing, he says, at the present time we have a guaranteed annual income for people for doing nothing.
That's right.
What we're having with this is a guaranteed income for people that do something, and nothing for anybody that does nothing.
That's right.
That's a good point, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, we've been trying to get that message across, but boy, it's just hard to do it.
Right.
They've got this concept of a guaranteed income, and
Well, I've said over and over that it is not a guaranteed income, and I think we've got to continue to say that. I said it is not a guaranteed income provides that a man gets paid whether he works or not. This provides if a man can work and refuses to work, that he doesn't get paid. So that's not a guaranteed income.
Well, I think you can point out that it's a guarantee that we will help somebody who is willing to help himself.
That's right.
No
That's
guarantee for a guy that is unwilling to do so.
Nobody wants to sit in his can.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, a good job. I'm going to work on, of course, our good friend Russell now.
Yeah.
He'll come around the end.
Some problems.
He may put hang too much on it, but that's up to you guys to cut it out in conference.
Yeah.
Okay, Johnny.
Talk to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. President, of course, to Ken Cole, the fellow called over. I guess he's busy.
I'll tell you, I will
do it later.
I will not be able to because I'm going to be doing some television.
I see.
But I just wanted to call and wish him well, and that I'll have.
Do you want me to tell him that you?
Just tell you tell him that the president was just going to hurry, get back to the golf course as soon as he can.
All righty, I'll do that, Mr. President.
You tell him yourself.
I'll do it. Thank you, Mr.
Because
President.
I've got to go over to do a TV shot right
I understand, sir. Right, bye-bye.
Dr. Kissinger back yet? Oh, I see.
Please.
Dr. Billy Graham, please, in San Francisco.
All right.
Thank you.
Mr. Kissinger calling you, Mr. President?
Hello.
Mr. Kissinger calling you, sir.
Yeah.
Right.
Would you, hello?
Yes.
Operator, would you hold that call to Graham? I just placed one to Graham. Would you hold that?
Yes, sir.
Fine, okay, fine.
And you'll speak with Mr. Kissinger?
Yes,
right.
yeah.
Operator, Graham.
Mr. President?
Yeah, hello, Henry. You in your office?
Yeah, I just got back.
I'm over at the Oval Office.
All right, you want me to come by?
Sure.
Right.
Yes, please.
Mr. Donald, Congressman Donald Brotzman, please.
Thank you.
Colorado.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hello.
Congressman Brotzman, sir. On the line.
Hello.
Mr. President?
Hi, Don.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted you to know that Macgregor was just telling me that you'd better celebrate because when you're 50, that's a hell of an old age. So never get any older than 49.
Mr. President, you're great.
You don't look that old, and you don't feel that old, do you?
No, I feel just wonderful. In fact,
that's right.
You know, I played a little golf this weekend. We had an invitation down to Greenbrier, Louisiana.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
And got it. I even broke 90. Would you believe that?
Yeah. Listen, you're not working hard enough.
You know the picture I saw down there, Mr. President?
Give up the game. Yeah.
I saw yours.
Yeah, with Stan Sneed, probably.
That's right. It was
right.
Sam Sneed.
Yeah. You know, that was the first time I ever broke 100 was at the Greenbrier.
What?
And I eventually got down as low as 83, and then I quit. But it's a great game. And which course did you play, the lower or the upper?
We played all three of them, actually.
All three? Oh, yeah. You played but the old white is the toughest.
The old white is the toughest. The
longest. And but that Greenbrier course is fun.
They were over here working this morning on your revenue sharing program, which
great.
Strongly in favor.
Well, I appreciate it.
And, we're just. Well, I think we're going to be able. I hope we can get some kind of a bill out that you can go for, man.
I hope so too.
We're sure trying.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Flanagan.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Bob. Oh, Mr. President. Yeah. Oh, Pete, what is the situation on John Eisenhower? I didn't name any successor for him.
No, sir, you have not. In fact, he has just sent in a letter.
Yeah, but I mean, I noticed this New York Times piece says a successor has been named for him.
Just says he's going to leave. Oh, I had understood from Bob that you had.
I want to hold that for somebody. Yeah,
I understand. And no successor has been named, and I'm trying to find out for John.
Yeah,
subject to your convenience. When we should announce his retirement.
I think I want you to give Bill. Have you been talking to Rogers about these? Or who's been talking about these assignments?
I have not. I've just come up.
You have not?
Well, no one's talking to Bill about it because there are assignments, and he's not coming up with recommendations to take the non-career spots. I have a long memorandum to you as to how we should go, and assuming you agree with it, then I'd go over and clear it with State. But State is not taking the initiative.
Well, then how do they have a story out talking about all these assignments?
Mr. President, on that I can't.
Yeah, have you talked to them about these names, or somebody has?
I haven't read this.
Well, then apparently Haldeman has. Okay, well then I'll have him call Rogers. That's swell. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Congressman Jack McDonald of Michigan, please.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Congressman McDonald, Mr. President.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, Jack.
Yes.
How are you? I just wanted to know that I'm just talking to our congressional staff here, and I found that you better celebrate because, boy, when you get to be 40, you're old, boy.
Oh, I'm going to stay 39 from now on.
That's right. I'm still celebrating my 39th, and I just wanted to wish you well.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President.
Incidentally, you'll be interested to know that Brotzman is 49 today, and so go over and commiserate with him.
Well, I'll tell you, he looks much better on the paddleball court than I do. I guess maybe I've aged too fast.
That's right. If you stay in the paddleball court, it'll bring your weight down. Okay. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Please.
Secretary Connolly, please. This is Haldeman.
Thank you. Just on the long distance call, they wondered if he could bring you right back.
I'll hang on.
All right. You're giving him a note, Mr. Haldeman.
Okay.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Secretary?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry to bother you, but I wanted to check. I had the feeling after this meeting this morning here that rather than going through the baloney and stuff that we were going to do at the cabinet meeting tomorrow, that he ought to do exactly the same thing at the cabinet as he did today.
So do I.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I'd say this: he couldn't have been more explicit nor more effective than he was this morning.
Well, that kind of fits with what we were talking about yesterday, too.
That's right.
But it needs the full cabinet. I think doing it with Laird and Rogers would be ideal.
So do I.
He'll have to leave, slant it a little bit differently, but not very damn much.
Not a hell of a lot.
Okay, but you do think it's a good idea?
Yeah, I sure do.
And that'll set up the pattern for your thing on the economy afterwards and all too.
Right.
Okay, before I pushed it, I just wanted to get your feeling.
No, I sure agree with that.
And if you felt it was unwise for some reason.
No, I don't think it's unwise at all. I think, hell, it's got to be known. And if it isn't known, it's not going to be effective.
Okay.
And then might as well, if that's what he wants to do, then hell, he ought to tell everybody that's what he's going to do.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.